Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. I'm recording this about 11:30 in the morning on November 4th at 1 o'clock Pacific time, that is. At 1 o'clock Pacific time, I'll be doing a live stream with Shauna Ristic. Come join us if you have the opportunity. It's going to be fun. Shauna is an intuitive. She had a near-death experience in her late teens, and it's really opened up her intuition skills. And looking to introduce her to you so you can maybe contact loved ones, get some insight as to what's happening in this country, even communicate with pets. Okay, 1 o'clock Pacific time on November 4th. For those of us who catch us later, sorry, only been plugging it all week on my channel. This reading, however, is going to be about Trump and SNAP benefits. So we know that the federal courts, two different federal courts, ordered the Trump administration to fund the SNAP benefits using the Department, it's the Department of Agriculture, I think, runs this, using a contingency fund of about $5 billion, which could fund SNAP benefits for about, was it 8 million U.S. citizens? Or no, it's 1/8 of the population, and we've got 300 million, so like 40 million people, I guess, are on SNAP benefits. It can't fund them fully, but can partially fund them for at least a month. And Trump, according to this article in The Hill, he said on Tuesday that he's going to be withholding SNAP benefits until the, quote, radical left Democrats open up the government, unquote. On Truth Social, he wrote, SNAP benefits, which increased billions and billions of dollars, many-fold, during Crooked Joe Biden's, I thought it was Crooked Hillary, I thought he was Sleepy Joe. I guess he can't keep his nasty adjectives straight. Disaster term in office, due to the fact that they were haphazardly handed to anyone for asking, as opposed to just those in need, which is the purpose of SNAP. Trying to implicate that SNAP is rife with fraud. As an aside, didn't Doge go through the government looking for fraud? I mean, they missed this? Doge with Elon Musk, the genius? Your boy? Missed this? How did you miss this? Well, it will be given only when the radical left Democrats open the government, which they can easily do and not before. Funny. That doesn't seem to align with what the federal judge was saying. Now we have White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt offered some clarification on the White House plans for SNAP on Tuesday afternoon, indicating that the partial benefits are still slated to be sent out, albeit with a delay. During the press briefing, CBS Senior News White House correspondent asked Leavitt whether the administration planned to distribute the money or defy the court order. No. The administration is fully complying with the court order. I just spoke to the president about it. The recipients of SNAP benefits need to understand it's going to take some time to receive this money because the Democrats have forced the administration into a very untenable position. We are digging into a contingency fund that's supposed to be for emergencies, catastrophes, for war, and the president doesn't want to have to tap into this fund in the future. And that's what we're referring to on this Truth Social post. The Department of Agriculture, as for the latest SNAP payment and judge's order, put out a guidance to states today on how to get the money, but it's going to take some time, she added. In other words, they're going to comply, but they're going to slow walk it as much as they can. They don't want to give out the money. They know they can't say no to the court order, but the court order doesn't give them a deadline by with which payments need to go out. And that's the part that they're going to exploit. If they could delay this thing 6 weeks, they will delay this thing 6 weeks. So, what difference does it make if you have to give out 50% SNAP benefits from that contingency fund if you're not going to see those funds for like 6 weeks or 8 weeks or something along those lines? I don't know how long it's going to take. Maybe they can only delay it a couple of weeks, but they will do everything in their power to delay it, to not pay it. Trying to, again, leverage the Democrats into capitulating into approving this continuing resolution. Mind you, it's November 4th. The continuing resolution only funds the government until November 21st, so 17 days. And at which point, the government runs out of money again, or it's not being funded again. So at some point, Mike Johnson has to bring the House of Representatives back in. Or does he? Who knows? Maybe he decides not to. And we just keep the government shut down forever and ever and ever, and the Republicans get everything they want because nobody gets paid anything. Of course, neither does the military, but, you know, and then, now they're all hiding on military bases. Let's take a look at the energy around Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump, and it's basically SNAP benefits in the court orders. Is the Trump administration purposely trying to slow walk this? By the way, as you might be able to tell, this really, really irritates me. Again, the definition of a truly great country is how it treats its most vulnerable citizens. And in this case, it's not even let them eat cake. It's let them eat nothing. Because we're not going to do it. Let them eat dirt. Let them grovel in the dirt. Right now, it's incumbent on local food banks to support their community because the federal government doesn't want to do it. They want to force through a gilded age on people, and in order to have that gilded age, you have to have the haves, very few, and the have-nots, aka the peasants, which is the rest of us. The energy around the delaying, slow walking. Ace of Cups. Foundation of the reading is the strong emotional component. The whining, I guess you could say I'm whining if you really want to say that. A component. It's really bringing out people's passions here. Guess what? People get really passionate when they're hungry. That's how revolutions start. I'm not suggesting there's going to be a revolution. I'm not advocating for a revolution. But starvation, taking away people's hope, angering and pissing them off, bringing the emotions up, that gets people in a mood for change. And crossed is the Ace of Wands, the action taken that raises the emotional levels, the anger, the frustration, so on and so forth. Underneath it all is the Eight of Coins, I didn't call it the Apprentice card. It's the working and making money. With Trump's post, when he's saying that SNAP is right, basically saying SNAP is rife with fraud, he's trying to raise the ire of the working class folks that worship him. That you've got a bunch of freeloaders on here. While you're working hard, these freeloaders are, eating steak and caviar or whatever misrepresentation they want to put with SNAP benefits. That's what he's trying to say. The reality is, as we enter November, enter into winter, Thanksgiving coming up, again, the irony of it all, is that he's putting fear into people that they won't have enough food to eat, and they're not going to have money coming in to help pay for food. And guess what? They're going to start reacting to people that feed them. You want to see what the crack in MAGA might look like, or the crack in Trump supporters looks like? Start starving them, and then have food banks feeding them, and whatever agenda helps fund those food banks. You suddenly have a influence, shall we say. In the past, you got the Five of Swords. Okay, so this is the government being shut down, and this is the Republicans basically ramming through the continuing resolution. Now, mind you, the continuing resolution in of itself is not a bad thing. When you haven't done your job, and God knows a Republican Congress hasn't done their job in years in actually coming up with a new budget. The problem comes in with this, with Trump's big, beautiful bill, is that they didn't fund healthcare subsidies that people are using to be able to afford healthcare. And the Democrats pointed that out, and actually, in a weird way, are trying to they're trying to help the Republicans save the Republicans from themselves by saying, "We'll agree to the continuing resolution, but keep these subsidies in there because guess what? A lot of people, especially poor or vulnerable people, use those. And by the way, spoiler alert, they're your voters." But because Trump is driving this, and the Republicans are protecting him and other pedophiles, they don't want to compromise and do this. They want the government shut down. It allows Trump to go run wild, and I've got a video coming up tonight about that. It just as a quick teaser for that, Dan Greeny, who's the writer for The Simpsons, came out with some more videos. Dan Greeny, I'm sorry, the writer for Simpsons who wrote the Simpson episode that predicted Trump becoming president of the United States. It seems that he's got a very strong intuitive gift. And Sterling, psychic medium, has mentioned him several times. He just referred to him as the writer of The Simpsons. And I'm kind of curious if Sterling actually knows who the guy is. I suspect he does, but hasn't mentioned that in the past. Dan Greeny was bringing together current events, suggesting that the government shutdown's a way to allow Trump to run more quickly, building monuments, starting a war in Venezuela, and tearing down the East Wing of the White House. Basically, culmination of events to build what would be Trump's version of a pyramid in his remembrance, because he knows his life on this planet is very short. It was a really interesting insight, and I read on that one. That's going up tonight at midnight, so it'll be out on November 5th, midnight Pacific time. Back to this reading at hand. This is the Take No Prisoners. The Democrats try to save the Republicans from themselves. The Republicans have no interest in it, no compromise. Current situation is the tower, and it's all starting to fall apart. The timeline is such that they only have a couple weeks before the government runs out of money, even on their continuing resolution. If Johnson will be required basically to bring Congress back into session. He'll be derelict in his duties if he doesn't. And then that forces the swearing in of the Arizona Congresswoman, which forces the discharge petition on the release of the Epstein file. So they're running out of time. Why do they feel they need to starve people for this? I'm not exactly sure. But they're trying to scapegoat the Democrats so that maybe if you're so hungry and you're angry at the Democrats, you'll forgive the pedophile files Epstein files when they come out. Overarching energy is the Six of Cups. They are, It's the Republicans know that the Trump administration's teetering, and right now they're trying to do everything they can to remind you how the Republicans help you and the Democrats hate you. Treating you like you don't know what you're talking about. You can't eat the flowers. No matter what big, beautiful gifts are being promised, what this little girl wants right now isn't a vase of flowers. She wants some food. Lesson to be learned is the Sun card. The truth is going to come out on this. You can try and delay this. You can try and aggravate people. You can try and pull the wool over their eyes. Eventually, the truth is going to come out as to what's coming on here. Out comes the Seven of Swords. The sneaking off. Trying to get away with your ill-gotten gains. Blaming the Democrats for when the government opens. But it's that the whole delay thing. They know that if they feed people, it undermines the Republican position of, winning at all costs, because they're relying on the Democrats' generosity to people as their Achilles heel. The government, the courts have sided with the Democrats on this one. It gives the Democrats leverage. All they have to, if people are being fed, it buys them time and puts more pressure on the Republicans. And the court rulings have revealed this. And now they're up to the only thing they can do now is try and delay, walk off with those funds, prevent those funds from being released to advance their agenda, to basically strong arm voter sentiment. Basically, as people are starving, with the Ace of Cups and Ace of Wands, as people are starving, they're going to get angry and they're going to want to direct that anger at someone or some group of people. And the Republicans right now are trying their best at a public relations campaign to say it's the Democrats' fault. It's lazy people who don't belong on the system that are preventing good, honest, hardworking people like yourself who do deserve to be on that system. And you can blame the Democrats for all of it. They're the reason why you're starving, not me. And then you got Marjorie Taylor Greene out there basically saying Congress could do this, come back in session and work on it. The Senate could use the nuclear option and pass it and fund the government. And they refuse to do it. So she keeps putting the onus right back on the Republicans. And I think polling came out that showed that was about a 60-40 split blaming the Republicans for the government shutdown. Guess what? Who knew people would want health care? How long is it going to be before, and I don't like, I shouldn't ask how long it's going to be. Will SNAP benefits start being paid again before the end of this month, before the end of November? I don't want to use the solstice. Or maybe before Thanksgiving. Maybe there's some celestial thing with American Thanksgiving that SNAP benefits would be paid for. Nope. They're going to hold on to it. It's going to move past that. Two of Wands, planning, or it could be the number 2. Four of Coins, holding on to that money as much as possible. Queen of Wands, talking about actions. Kind of like, it's just coming. It's like that, the Trump thing. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Just around the corner. Another 2 weeks type of thing. And then you got the 9 of Swords, the anxiety that's underneath there. They will slow walk. It's going to be after Thanksgiving, I believe, before SNAP benefits are paid. They're really trying to get away with whatever they can, hold on to the money for as long as they can, delay. It's always 2 weeks away. This could be a judge or somebody coming in saying you need to take action. It's so funny. The Republicans are really screwing themselves with this. I don't know what their end game is. I don't see it. I don't think money's going to come out till December on SNAP. Isn't that going to be fun? Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Yeah, it's just like the courts are going to have to come back in and do this and demand what's taking so long. It's like, you have to start subpoenaing. Oh, that 9 of Swords is probably for the folks in charge of distributing that money. And they may be called to explain themselves. But again, the Queen of Wands could very well be the legal system. And the legal system moves so damn slow that it can't force a fast resolution to this. Cruelty's the point. But maybe one last little spread here. How does this impact the people, the folks that are impacted by the lack of SNAP benefits? What happens? What's their opinion of Trump and the Trump administration for this? You got the Lover's card, the Ace of Pentacles. I was going to say the people who they blame for this. But I asked about the Trump and Trump administration. Page of Wands. God. Here's the thing. I don't think it's answering that question. It's answering a different question. I think it's answering when they will come out. Because the first vibe I got from this one, besides is, oh, the people that we worship, Christmas. Christmas. The courts have come in, make the payments, stop your dicking around. It's almost like they're going to delay this thing until Christmas or the Christmas holidays. I guess the other thing, let's see if I can pull those cards out again. Let me pause for a second and get these cards out here. Okay, found them. It's about not letting. It's like, if you wait on the government, you can't wait on the government. It's going to be incumbent on us to do things, on the little guy to come do this. Sort of the, if forgive the phrase, what would Jesus do, or what's the Christian thing to do? But what's kind of the moral, ethical, society benefit thing to do? Government's not stepping up, then it's up to us to step up and supplement where the government would be in, with our money, with our time. That this is the just thing to do, is help out our fellow man, even when the big institutions aren't helping. We can help our local institutions with that. So in some ways, it's if you will, it's a test for the little guy. Instead of always relying on the government to do these items, it might be up to the little guy to do those items and build up that sense of community. And when the community is built up, then we have a firm foundation with which to build up towards the government with the changes that we want to make. That could be it. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.